But like,
Oh my god.
Oh my God, that's hot.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited. It's been a while since I've been back, but I'm so excited to say yet again, welcome to the BoyFriends podcast, where we help you find your circle.
And your man.
I'm Jarrod D. King. I am here with a whole new cast, and I'm here to introduce them all. Why don't we start over here? Deleqúa, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction, let them know who you are, what you do, and all the good stuff.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, my name is Deleqúa. I'm excited and honored to be here with all these beautiful people, all these beautiful souls. And yeah, I'm a singer, actress, proud Black trans woman. I love love. I love truth. And I'm looking forward to this experience.
Fantastic. Now you have a new song coming out soon. And that's not out until, by the time this comes out, it will be released.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So why don't you let the audience know where they can find that, please?
It is called Soft and Feminine. It's going to be everywhere. On also, you can just go Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere, and
Okay.
there you go.
All right. And look, the song has been stuck in my head, so I'm sure it'll be stuck in your heads as well. Want to move over here, Pablo, who's like dolling himself up with some lip gloss. His lip gloss is popping. His lip gloss is cool. Why don't you give us a little intro? Let them know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, my name is Pablo. I grew up in Westchester, Pennsylvania, so just outside of Philadelphia. I'm about 40 minutes, and it's funny because I'm so addicted to Philly. I will order an Uber for $60, upward of $80, just to get to and from U-Bar. And Jarrod knows it. Jarrod knows I am
You
trouble.
will make the trip.
I will make the trip.
You're in trouble. That too. We also have another co-host that you all will get to know and love. This is Biddy Bee.
Hi, everyone. Coming to you live from the West Coast. I'm Biddy. Philadelphia born and raised, currently living kind of back and forth between San Francisco and Philly. I'm a drag performer, dancer, singer, work part-time in tech, hence the San Francisco life. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to be on the podcast with everybody.
Yeah. Look, I'm super excited to have you on. Look, we're all pretty big personalities. You're very funny, and the first time we met you was during drag at the the LGBTQ tennis league in Philly, and had a great time meeting you there. And we've hung out a few times, so it's always a good time.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm always like, I love making the dramatics of tennis. Mwah, those are right
I
in my
haven't
soul.
played with you yet, but I think that would be so much fun. We need to actually get on
Can
the
I
court.
come?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
better.
Come on
You
now.
better. One of these days they're going to kick me off the court, but until that time, we will be going hard.
All right. So why don't we just jump into this topic? Today, we're going to be talking about how do looks impact your dating life? I mean, I guess I can start here. I guess when I was a little bit younger, I was very quiet, I didn't have the most confidence in the world. And I was skinnier than I am now, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like you never really hit the mark, and now I'm a little bit thicker, and now I'm trying to get skinnier again, and it's just like, okay, but you always are trying to reach some different goal in order to be the most attractive, because you talk to people that you think are attractive, and then they reject you, and then you feel, okay, well, what's wrong with me? Like, what's not enough on my end that they wouldn't give me a yes? But I don't know. I think personally, you kind of have to work on the inner strength side. But I'm curious what everyone else has to say about that, or what anybody else's experiences were. Biddy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I feel like the voices stuff is interesting because I think for me, I grew up, I think like starting fifth grade or so, I was like gaining some weight. Generally have lived my life as a larger bodied person since then. And when you talk about the voices, I think it's so like the internal voices that I have are like almost repetitions of these voices that I've heard from the outside world that then I play on repeat in my head. Like, you're not good enough, you're not thin enough, the thin body ideal really like there's almost a morality around it. Like, you are good if you are thin, you are bad if you are large. And it's like, damn, like I, over the last decade, like probably 5 years, let's get like more tactical about it. Like since going to therapy consistently in the last 5 years, I've been able to like see that voice and be like, I see you. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you, but I do need to empower these other voices in me that know that it's like you are you are funny, you are somebody will find you attractive. It's like that these absolutes over here are not correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, if I may, just like I think it was 7 years old was the first time I heard that message that I can recall. I
Oh,
was just
really?
journaling on this. I was 7 years old, and my auntie and my mom were talking in the other room, not knowing that I was like around the corner listening. And I remember she was just like, "Oh, like Nicholas is looking like fat. We like he needs to lose some weight." And like they didn't know I was listening, and children will listen, baby, and they will
Hmm.
internalize. And so I heard that message loud and clear from somebody who was a trusted loved one. Um, at the age of 7, I was so vulnerable to it. And
Hmm.
then that message kept coming fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. And I think, Jared, you mentioned something that's really big, which is when somebody then rejects me, or, or I'm not getting affirmed in that way or getting negatively affirmed, it attaches to that inner child's like trauma.
Yeah,
And then it's sticky. It becomes really hard to figure out how to like not let that attach deeply into my soul.
yeah,
So right
yeah.
now I'm literally that's my work in therapy right now at
Okay.
32 years old. It's like 7-year-old Nicholas, it's okay. You'll be okay. But that's the it's intense. Like it's
Yeah,
been
yeah. I
25
mean, that's
years.
that's the work you need to that's the work you need to do. So I mean, I'm good on you for actually working through those steps. I had to go to therapy for my own stuff, like not necessarily it was more like self-confidence and just being okay taking up a space and just kind of walking into a space and being like, I'm here, I deserve to be here, and I don't care who's in here, who doesn't like me, who doesn't think I should be here. I'm here, so whatever. Let's talk or let's not. But you know what I'm saying? But it takes a lot to get there. And it breaks my heart to see some of my friends who will be in a space with me or another friend or something and kind of beat themselves up for not necessarily fitting the standard, because I know where they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know where they were, at least mentally. So I mean, like, how have your looks impacted your dating life, or have they at all, Pablo?
I don't think my looks have impacted my dating life too much.
So okay, so let me sharpen this question. Have you ever been rejected because, or have you ever felt rejected because of the way that you look? Because my perception of you is you kind of fit that standard. You
Standard
kind of
of-
fit the beauty standard. You're young. You're what else? What else did I say before? He's young.
Young, hung, and
He's
full of cum.
well.
We're cutting that out.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, like you're young, you're good looking, you have a nice body. I feel like you would be rejected a lot less.
I don't think I've ever been rejected for the way that I look. However, I think I have been rejected, just simply as a preference. He's Guatemalan, or I'm looking for Mediterranean.
Okay.
Um, but I've gotten nothing but. And I'm gonna say it like.
Well, I mean, hey, talk your truth.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had, in other words, someone tell me that I'm ugly or that I'm not attractive. Yeah, I've received nothing but like love, and And so so looks have never really impacted my dating life. And I go back to my point of, some people just have a preference.
So you feel like you've been more rejected because of like more of like a ethnicity type of thing?
Yeah, which is totally fine because I'll do the same thing. I wouldn't want to date somebody who's Guatemalan, not because I don't love them, just because it's not my preference. I like, all American jocks, or
Okay.
that's my vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deleqúa, what has your experience been dating and like dealing with, I guess, like your looks? Like, have you felt like rejected because of your looks before, or how have you kind of, or have you ever had to like overcome any of those like image issues?
Well, yeah, I've been up until this point. I've been in a relationship for about 4 years, so
Okay.
it has its ups and downs. Life has your ups and downs, but I do believe though that looks always play a part in something, because if you are mature enough to understand and you've been through some things, you'll understand that there's parts of us as humans. There's the part that needs nurturing. There's the part that needs some people need some healing. I think we're always going to need that. There's parts that need more attention than others. Then you have the sexual drives. That's a part of your humanistic nature, right? When it comes to science, that's part of who you are. I've transitioned about begin 2019, 2020. So it's been about almost 6 years. You understand what I'm saying? But before then, I was a femme queen, and I would go around, I had a bald head and things like that. So I have had a story, to get to where I'm at. And most of my life, as of the last 4 years, like I said, I've been who I am. And I see that the way they over-sexualize trans women and things like that, and I'm not oblivious to that. Do I say that I experience things? I don't, because if a man gonna try to talk to me, I'm in a relationship. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't give attention to it. I don't feed into it, because I know that I where my mind stays and how I'm a traditional person when it comes to relationships.
Gotcha.
So that's just where I'm at. With it.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I do have another question for you guys, and I think, well, this might be fun. We'll see. But what physical traits do you require before accepting someone for a date or a hookup or whatever?
I mean, I like the way my man's body is. I'm just saying.
Okay, I love that for you.
I do. Like, I don't be with someone just because, whatever. It is what it is. Everybody, when it comes to relationships, and, because I guess most people's reasoning for dating is to be in a relationship. Is that that's everybody's goal, correct? I don't know.
Well, that's for me, and I think I would
depends.
say for all of us here, it seems...
I'm not mad. I'm just saying everybody has their thing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? What they're into. Trust me, we are in the LGBT community. I have seen it all. Okay? Trust me. I have seen it all.
Yeah.
And some things, some people don't understand trans women, or why would you change? But there's also things I don't know. I would look at like, hold on, no, that ain't me. That's you. But I never ever look down on anybody for what they believe. Some people, I know people who are in polyamorous relationships, all those things, and that's okay for them. Me talking about somebody, because what they do, that if they're in consent and everybody is happy
Everybody's
and
good.
living their life, then let them people live.
Hey,
You know what I'm
I got nothing
saying?
to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let
do
folks
it.
live. We always so worried about what everybody
Because
else
at
do.
the end of the day, if that's how it ends up for me, then okay, I guess. That's not what I'm looking for, but I'm like, I'm not going to be
It's
completely
okay to have
closed
a hard
to it.
no too. Like, I had a meeting with my team about what I would do as and with performances and things like that, and they said, "What is your hard no?" And I stood on my ground on what my hard no's were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's places I don't want to be. There's things I'm not going to, that I'm just not going to do, and that's okay too.
Absolutely.
You have to give yourself that type of space. And like you said, therapy. I've had therapy, because I had to learn from those traumas, like you were talking about earlier, as a kid that I had, with myself. Now that I am a Black trans woman, I love it, because I know it's who I've always wanted, who I always was. But I see the social media, and I used to want the fanfare and the men looking at each other, but I realized Baby, I don't need none of that.
Yeah.
I don't need none of there, none of that. I do me, and I'm gonna live.
And you
me.
know, that's an interesting because I feel like a lot of us are kind of living for that. We're living for that attention. But what are you going to do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, there are certain people who get all of that attention, and maybe that's the energy. Like, we were talking a little bit earlier. I was like, that's what they are giving, and that's what they're going to get. I am looking for more of a connection. I'm looking for something a little bit deeper. So I'm not going to lie. I like to hook up once in a while. You had something to say?
I was just saying, so you're saying you're a demisexual then?
No.
Demisexual? She said, no, sometimes I just want to suck it.
Well, we're getting into it.
But I will say demisexuality, it feels very safe for me these days because
Yeah.
it's like getting to know something a little less scary. But I name it just because it's lovely to realize sexuality has all these places.
Yes.
And you're naming it. You're like, this is kind of where I sit right now in my
Yeah,
comfort.
yeah.
And
But yeah.
I just want to touch on something really quick.
Use your mic.
no, come for me. I'm just kidding.
No, I just like to touch on something real quick. I think Deleqúa, you really hit something in me. I think it was the movement that you created in your transition. I think the story is just so powerful. And I'm sitting here and I was like, it was just really resonating with me because I've been in one of those situations where I think we all have to, varying degrees. But, I've been in a similar situation where I was, not loving myself. And then I had something, I had the love of my family and the support of my friends, and to like really help shift me into a better, healthier like lifestyle, or just mindset. And yeah, so you really struck something, and I wanted to touch on that because I think you're an inspiration. And yeah.
Bless your heart, my friend. I told you he was gonna be my child. I adopted. He's gonna come. He's becoming part of the house of Deleqúa, honey.
I do want to. I didn't forget the question I asked, so I want to ask the very surface level question of what physical requirements do you have of someone? Pablo, why don't you give us a little rundown, or like maybe like two or three things that really get you going.
Light your
that you're like,
fire, bro. They get you.
I need this. Yeah.
Okay. A very clean cut, and by clean cut I mean just very
What, like professional or like?
yeah, like a very I'm blanking on the word. Just like clean shaven. Like she's not she, but we all know what we're saying.
We know what we mean.
Yeah. No. Like very clean cut and very soft. Like he conditions.
Okay.
And then the next, obviously muscle, but not too much. Not like a bodybuilder. Not a twink. More like not a twunk either.
Wow. So somewhere you're like very specific.
That was the question, was it not?
It was. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm here for.
Name it. Know thyself and name it, baby. I love that.
Yeah, and then the third would be the voice, I think.
Okay.
No, I love everybody, but
You like a deep voice?
No. Like a very like for a singer, they have most of the time they have like a very like a very clean voice. It's just very soothing. That's what I love at like a certain
Love that, yeah.
on like a lower third. I'm kidding.
He said, "Get you a man that'll
octaves
sing
and
you to
notes.
sleep."
I want you to speak in the high key of F. Okay.
For real.
And when you reprimand me, it better be in C sharp.
Yeah, you really said these are my features. I'm like, you just named Mariah Carey, baby.
Okay, there you go. The range. Ranges.
real.
I was thinking Whitney.
There you go.
When you
Celine
talk about
Dion.
crispiness. Oh, there you go. Beyonce.
Yes.
Cowboy Carter.
Thank you.
No, I think for me, I like nice like arms and shoulders, like these muscles up here, nice little something. Yeah, I like nice smile, nice teeth. Um, I mean, and that's where I really, if I want to like dive deep, I can get real surface and pick somebody who is like way too far out of there. But it's like if I want to be realistic, which I when I'm like dating, it's like okay, like maybe if you have like a little definition and you have a nice smile, we can work with that. It doesn't. I don't have to be too exact.
Who
But
even
if Chris Hemsworth wants to give me a call, I'm here.
who even needs teeth these days? It's all about what's in here.
Oh my gosh. I don't want nobody giving me a gummy. Let's just say that.
A gummy.
Have you heard of that?
It's something about like what? Y'all know.
That's like if you had dentures or something.
You have no teeth.
Not the gummies. She said, well, don't knock it till you try it. Hell, how about that?
Hey,
well, unless you've tried it. And then in which case.
I know a friend who's had that happen to him before. I mean, I think he enjoyed it. So
I was about to
good
say,
for
what if it's tea?
him. Not teeth, but tea.
Tea, yeah. I can go in here. I would say like something that tends to like light me up, like is legs, and specifically like there's something about like the that comes up with the calf kind of booping and then the quad
Okay,
kind of
you're that
booping.
guy.
And there's something about that. It feels very specific, but I'm always like, damn.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
In the age of short shorts, I'm thriving. Like short shorts are in, and I'm very happy about it, baby.
You said summer has arrived. Let's go. That is so funny. So do you guys feel like you have like rejected certain people based off of their looks or their lack of having maybe those specific features? I mean, because here's the thing. Like, I like to turn the question back at us sometimes to try to, like, self-reflect. Like, we feel rejected sometimes based on how we look, but I feel like we also perpetuate the rejecting on that stuff. And I don't think it's necessarily wrong to be like, okay, you're not really what I'm feeling right now. But, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of want to have a conversation about that. Like,
I would say one, just you asking that question had an effect on my brain. I was like, huh. Like, because you're 100% right. Like negativity bias, when I feel the rejection, ooh, it sits really deep in the body. It's like a very heavy thing that I hold on to. But like in moments, I know I've had moments where people have come up to me and they've been expressing interest. I don't know how directly or not directly, but I think that's a fair thing. It's like, at least where I am in my journey with my sexuality, it's like if I'm not feeling any like heat or physiological signs going on and it's like it's not clicking, I'm not gonna, at least where I'm at now, I'm not gonna do anything about it. Sometimes to the point of being a little oblivious, airheady, I'm just like, everyone wants to be my friend.
yeah.
Everyone just wants to be my friend. And it's like, no, that guy was trying to suck you.
Yes.
Jeez. Oh my God. Excuse me.
So
But
you're drinking the apple juice today over there.
just a little but but that is all to say, Delacroix, earlier when you were saying you were kind of talking about this like coming to terms within ourselves, like becoming okay with ourselves. And I think there's this thing that like there's a hand we're dealt. And at least for me personally, it's like I the context here is like I haven't done anything physical or romantic with people for like maybe a decade. Like as
Wow.
crazy as
Yeah.
that is to sound, like there are movies like The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and I'm like, that is like fear fuel for me because I have had such a deep like trauma around my body and around like perceiving myself as ugly, and then every rejection or every voice, it was so easily able to attach from me. So I'm doing that work right now. So even as I'm talking about these things, it's like this is a realm that like I am just coming to a place now where I'm realizing actually like the hand I was dealt was the hand I was dealt. I actually can't do much about that. There are things that I can control, but mostly it's like nourishing and taking care of myself is what's in my control, my reactions. But I can control if this person likes me or if this person, finds me attractive. That's not in my control.
Yeah.
And so as I've learned to play the cards I'm dealt, I've learned that it's like, well, I actually can't control anyone else. This is what I've got. And I've learned to, one, become comfortable with that. And that inner child work really helped with like, we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And now, actually, the blocker, like in that decade of not really existing as a sexual being, putting that off to heal a little bit, um, I would say that I'm trying to think. Yeah, at a certain point, the resistance was much more internal than it was external. For a while, the environment was rough. I was playing on hard mode. It's like, damn, I do
Yeah.
not feel resourced to be able to play on hard mode. I do now, and now the only blocker is like, can I put myself out there and can I like give myself a chance to like hook up with somebody or something? Can I expose myself to potentially being rejected? That's the work right now
Yeah.
at 32
Yeah.
years old. So
Yeah.
this has been great because I love hearing everywhere where everyone's at, but it feels like ultimately like the inner work is like end game.
It
It's
really
like
is.
the
Shadow work
outer
is
stuff
real.
is real. The inner
It
stuff
really
is like
is.
what I can actually do something about.
I mean, look, I don't mind getting rejected now. Not to say that I'm so far advanced or anything, but just like it's gotten to the point where I will talk to a guy who technically is kind of like out of my league, and I'll be like, hey, what's going on, blah blah blah. It's just about like, I feel like, let me just make him comfortable, let me just like, we'll just have a quick conversation, and if there's nothing there, then I'm gonna move right on ahead. I'm gonna move on. Okay, well, it's nice talking to you, I'll see you later. And that's really all it has to be. I've learned now, and I'm grateful that I kind of worked through that I can now be like confident enough to not let that sit and stick. And I hope that for you, Biddy, that's not to say that I don't have my own moments where I'm just like, damn, because I will say honestly, I have been going through a moment even recently where it's just like, maybe nobody really is into me. I mean, maybe hookup is all I can offer to anyone because nobody's really interested in the deeper thing, you know. So that's it's still been a struggle. I'll ask you this, and then I know we're gonna take a quick break, but have you been in company with other friends who maybe are closer to that beauty standard and seeing the reaction that they get, and like, what has your feelings in those moments been? But I want you to
Jeez.
think about that.
You nailed that one. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
we're
I'll think of
gonna
something here.
I'm gonna take a quick break. You need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yay.
Here.
Cut, cut.
And then we're gonna wrap up this episode. It's been a long one.
Oh, look at them.
Hey, girly.
Hey. Oh, legs crossed. We're in business.
he's showing off the calves and everything. Oh wow.
Oh no, not the oh no. Not the boop da bop. Oh jeez.
You know
I
what?
do declare that.
I just got really insecure like yesterday or the day before because my friend was like, "You're getting fat," and I was like, "What?"
Okay, hold that for
You gotta do that shit on camera. We're on camera, luckily here, but yeah. No, that one just want to say like love you and like so real, like where it's just like from a friend. That is
Right. Dude, I'm over here like trying not to laugh because
just in case we use this bathroom break shit. Yeah.
I'm being a director. You better talk.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Girl.
Just
Okay. Where was I? It was yesterday or the day before that my friend was like, I noticed that you've got a little bit more to you than you normally do. And it's funny because typically when I'm by myself, I don't eat all that much. I mean, I eat, but I don't eat to the extent that we were eating in that week in DC because I was doing like night outs every day. It was always a dinner and then we go out. And these dinners were like very filling. They were, full course meals, appetizers. In fact, by the time the appetizers were done, I wasn't even ready for it. I wasn't filling the entree, and then I had the entree, and the problem was I wanted to go out and have fun, and this sounds alcoholic of me, but if I was full, then I couldn't get drunk, and I was like, this is a problem. So
It's too expensive to be full at the bar. Yeah, at the nightclub.
yeah, it really is, and yeah. So, but
But it sounds like there's a lot that you were already going through your brain. So to have somebody name that, it sounds like that was activating. Is that like you're like,
no, no. What's activating is like I always thought like I think we've all been in this position where like we're in our 20s and we say like, oh, we can't get fat kind of thing, or maybe even in your 20s you just don't have a fast metabolism rate, and that's totally okay. But either way, for me it was I always could eat anything and just be okay, and I still can, but now I'm starting to reconsider that because I don't know. It was the comment that like he felt something like a difference between like the first time that he met me and then the past couple of days, and I was just totally offended by it. I tried to play it off because I didn't want to feel that feeling that I was feeling, and because it was really uncomfortable because I love the way that I look, and there's nothing wrong with gaining weight, but for me, like, I don't know, I was a big runner. I was a gymnast. I was a diver. I played tennis. Like, I do all these things, not even to stay in shape, but just because I love doing it. And to hear that I was, gaining some weight was just it was really off-putting.
It was the height of disrespect for you.
Well, no. Well, listen. Listen. The same way that you would want someone to tell you that you have food in your teeth is what he did. So I don't fault him at all. In fact, I'm glad that he told me. I just wish it was broached a little bit differently because it was like, you're fat.
and ultimately it sounds like it was like you're like, I don't think there was any intention here, but and maybe he couldn't have even known. This is how I frame it. It's like he might not have even known that that had an ability to hit so hard and deeply. And then for you, just wanted, it's like, it's okay. We got to sometimes being vulnerable, right? You were like, I played it off. It's like, I don't want to expose this person to an insecurity or something underneath, because it's like that feels scary. So like one, it's just like that. Yeah, I just wanted to say like all that feels so natural, so okay, even if it feels jarring and scary.
Yeah, and just to add one more thing, I think what it really came down to was the fact that, and that was actually my main point, was that we were eating so much that I think it was just like a bloated thing, and so I'm not bitter.
Whether
I'm
it
not.
was or not, yeah, like I think one of the things that's hard about body image stuff is it's so pervasive that like, yeah, that like we think we like get stuck in this paradigm of like good and bad and stuff like that, and it's like actually we have to step out of the paradigm. It's really hard, but that's why I think you're having trouble with that. Like it's not bad, it's not good. It's like because we were taught it was. We were taught it was. We were taught like,
We love our education system.
yeah, you better get back over on the side, bitch.
Right,
I'm just kidding. I love you.
You hear me? Beyonce is in the middle. Always.
Yeah.
You know what they used to
Love
say?
you, Pablo. And Delequa, did you have something also that I think we had put a pin in something for you right before you left?
Oh, no.
If it's still there.
Yeah.
Did we?
Well, I put a pin in something for you because I had asked how you felt when you forget.
I don't remember that. Okay, hit it.
I had asked
Bring
how
me
you
there.
felt being around friends who may have more closely fit the standard. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And what
Okay.
has your reaction been to them maybe getting some of that attention? And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that like it's one, yeah, absolutely. And that is where like my own sensitivity comes into play, where it's like there's so much trauma, there's so much, I call it my pain body. It's like all of these stories, all this baggage, all this history I'm taking with me. And in that moment, this thing that has nothing to do with me, such as somebody getting hit on, or even just being in a fairly sexualized space, which sometimes, at least like gay
90%
male
of gay
centric spaces tend to be
basically,
really
yeah.
sexual. Yeah. And even that just can be very activating, where it's like all of that is now here now, right? And anything that's happening, I'm attaching to myself. I try to see it these days and try to help be like, it's okay, that's not about you. But Lord knows it loves to just rush in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it can be overwhelming. I was just in New York at like a club called Animal in Brooklyn,
Okay.
and it was like one of the most sexualized spaces I've been in a while. And I've been trying to work on this, so I am even more sensitive to it. And I just remember my friends were getting hunted,
Oh
and
wow.
I was just like, I there, and I was like,
It's like, what am I, chop liver?
yeah, no, even more so than that. I was like, I'm having like a moment emotionally. I was like, I gotta breathe. Like, I just gotta like. I was coping through the experience, which I think was good
Yeah.
ultimately, because again,
Yeah.
I was trying to let it be like, this isn't about me.
Yeah.
I'm here in this space. This is happening around me, but I'm okay. So I literally was doing deep breathing exercises in the gay club, just like
Square breathing.
because it is that, even if it's friends, if it's just happening. But I do have that experience a lot, and I'm learning to not personalize that, not let it attach. But damn, it's hard.
Yeah, it is. I remember I had a friend who was super good looking and he would get all the attention. And I remember we were in line, you know how we have like gay pizza out here in the neighborhood. So this is where you go. For those of you who aren't in Philly, there's like a pizza place in the middle of the neighborhood after the clubs. If you want like a little slice because you've been drinking all night,
It's a mess.
that's where you go. And we were in line, and I don't know. I think it had just like come out. I was with this friend, and there was a guy in front of us who was really cute, and I think I had started talking to him or something, and then he started talking to my friend like, "Oh, you're so pretty," blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, "Well, what about me?" Like one of those types of moments, and you know, he was, and then and then he just was like, "Okay, so anyway." It was very awkward, but it's just like, you know, I feel like, I don't know, and this would be my advice to some people. If you want like a trial by fire, like just get there, find yourself a really hot friend who has those experiences and just sit in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Your mouth is wide open, but I feel
Just
like
because like spewing wisdom, baby.
I just feel like those experiences help you to sit in a space of like, okay, that's their life, that's their moment. I'm sitting over here. I'm cool. We're good friends. It may be his friend, maybe the friend that he's talking to has a friend, or if not, then whatever. But like, I just feel like that's a good way of getting acclimated to, just kind of like chilling and just being cool in a scenario. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but I just feel like, I don't know.
can I be okay even if I'm not okay? It's like this doesn't feel great in this moment, but then I'm okay because it's like this is not about me and no one's doing anything wrong, and
Right.
I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, and that is so powerful. I think it's very underappreciated, which is leaning into that uncomfortability. That is what helps us come out stronger. Is to lean into what we don't know. Because yep, girl, yep.
That's gonna be a GIF. It's gonna be all over Twitter.
Oh my god,
Ponytail activate.
Not too much now.
oh my god, I'm
But I
obsessed.
just wanted to affirm that, Pablo. That feels so accurate to this moment. Yeah.
So if we are talking to like our friend across the screen or listening to this while they're driving, what advice would you give to them if they are feeling a little bit like removed from the standard of beauty? Even if in reality they might be, hi Tom Daly, you know. What advice would you give to anybody feeling that way, to kind of get to a place where they can be a little bit more confident or a little bit more just okay in that moment?
Well, again, it starts with that inner work, that shadow work, like that, Biddy was speaking of, and that Pablo speaking of, we all were speaking of, honestly, because I feel like we all have done some inner work. I think that there's always going to be inner work to be done in self because you're in this fleshly realm. So we have to understand that this realm is a temporary realm. And so your love that's in this realm is the love that's going to be in this realm. But there is another realm of love that is just like, when you truly love yourself, that humanistic thing that we're looking at, that looks that we're looking at, that passes away.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting to. That passes away. So it's about who you can really, truly bond with fully, and that, like, they call it a soulmate. You understand what I'm saying? Or a one person that you're like, that's the one I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna. I don't think I can ever. No matter what's around me, that's the one that I have to. That I don't want to be without. You know what I'm saying? Even in the bad things, like I want to strangle her. But it's that feeling, and I never understood when people describe that. Honestly, it's kind of an epiphanal moment for me in this moment too. Because I'm not one to put my personal business out there too much, to be honest with you. I'm not. But I do feel like when you truly have found your center, yourself, to thine own self be true, is the saying that I have stood on. And I feel like you need to apply that in every aspect, especially when it comes to relationships. When it comes to that what they call that, superficial things. I feel like when we look at looks, that's more superficial than anything. And when we turn the mirror on, we find ourselves being superficial to ourselves because we put ourselves to those beauty standards. Beyonce says in Cozy, I'm sorry, she says they hate me because they want me. And I truly feel like that. When I get hate, I'm like, oh, you must want me. Like, you must want me because there's a reason that trans content is something that's looked at on that yellow black app that they go to. Yeah, I know what that is. The hub.
The hub. The grinder. Wait, what are you talking about?
All of them. All of them.
I just want to say something. I sometimes am so jealous of the trans girls because the guys that are looking for them are so hot. I'm like, y'all be getting the good looking ones.
Well,
I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, I don't know if that's like not PC to say, but
well, I mean, I don't. That's a whole nother topic. Trans attraction is a whole nother
That's
topic.
That's for next
y'all.
week.
There you go. That should be that could be a whole series, to be honest, especially in 2025, the world we have today.
Yes.
So, but love yourself first and foremost.
Okay.
When it comes to that, love every bit of you.
Okay. All right. I hear that. Pablo, do you have any words of advice for our viewers regarding this topic, regarding looks and self-confidence and all that stuff, all that good stuff?
Biddy was talking earlier, and what came up for me was mantras. I think it's so important when you're trying to build that confidence, if it's not already instilled already. Instilled isn't a great word, but if it's not there already, I think mantras are so great to say every morning to the mirror, or it can be in your room, just on the edge of your bed. It doesn't need to be long. It can be, I am beautiful. I am loved. I am whatever you may want it to be. And I think doing that every day, it sounds stupid, like when you first start it, but when you continue to do it over and over again repetitively, like,
that's gonna be that voice in your head.
Yeah, and exactly.
And
so instead,
we were talking about.
Exactly. And so instead of that voice saying you don't deserve this or you blah 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 blah, it's no, you are amazing, and girl, go out there and get what you goddamn want.
Absolutely.
I know that's right.
Absolutely.
Get your bag.
Look, I mean, I'm here nodding my
camera.
head. I'm nodding my head so hard because proof is right here. I did that. I had to talk to myself every day and affirm myself and be like, you're the hottest thing walking. Just paraphrasing. But I had to like affirm myself to get to a point where I'm like, all right, like you live in that space where you're hot, like you've got this going for you. You go out there and you get it. And it sounds weird, it sounds crazy, but that actually works. That's actually a practical thing that you can do to kind of work on it. And it might feel silly, but it's just you in the mirror. So find a private time or just pick up your phone and look in the camera, and instead of taking a selfie, give yourself a nice little affirmation. But Biddy, do you give us our last little bit of advice here?
One, I just wanted to say, Pablo, I feel that I'm also one of those who like that was an important part of my process was like, can I, it's like working out a muscle that is atrophied. It's like at first, like I won't even know if anything's happening. I can't even sense that muscle. And then over time it becomes stronger and can hold up to these voices that have had a lot of time getting stronger because the world kept reinforcing and working those out. And so I just wanted to say, like, that's so practical. And I imagine, like, Jarrod just went through, I don't know, Deleqúa, has that something that's entered your life, that like repeating to yourself these affirmations? Is that something that also helped you in your healing?
Of course, affirmations are very important. You have to. There's actually a part of some art that I'm creating I'm really big. You do everything with intention. Everything I do is with intention. So affirmations, there's one that I say every morning that on whatever I need I shall have, whatever I want I shall get. I repeat that every morning. That's one of my main affirmations. So I share that with everyone else too, if there's, because we all need something.
Yeah.
And we all want something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever you need you shall have, whatever you want you shall get. And again, cozy is another affirmation for me. Comfortable in my skin. I say that often. Cozy with who I am. I love myself. Goddamn cozy. I'm just saying. That's an affirmation, though. Yes. That's you're talking about affirmation, sweetheart. That's exactly what that is. I'm gonna always give Beyonce energy. I'm in the Beehive. I told you that.
And if I may, an important starting point that somebody shared with me now a decade ago was like, can I thank, like for me personally, it was like, can I thank my legs for working for me today and allowing me to move about my space?
Absolutely.
Can I thank my fingers for being able to feel and sense, like, because these are things to be grateful for. They are not givens.
Yeah.
And if you,
There you go.
when you were talking about the like oneness kind of stuff, it's just like, this is a body that we were gifted, and at any amount of ability, like there's something here that is allowing my spirit to exist in this world,
Yep.
which is pretty amazing. So I love getting to that level, but my starting point was, thank you, knee, for bending today, even if you hurt, even if you're hurting me. And actually I learned to be grateful for the hurt, because she said, I need a little help. So it's funny that reconnecting to that gratitude, the small things, that was it. That was my entry.
I want to touch on that. I'm sorry, because you
Go
talked
in.
about it's. I was on our way here. I was thinking about the word testimony. I know a lot of church folks use that. But your testimony is your story. You know what I'm saying? That you are coming through. And I think that, like you said, your starting point, it's so important to be open to talk about that starting point, because people need to see that, their starting point to get to where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I was going absolutely nuts over here, girl, because you were saying that I'm grateful that my knee can bend today. And what came to mind was a point in my life when I was doing yoga, and at the end of the session, it would just be one-on-one, me and the mat, right? And I would end the session with, like, I would lean over, just like, thank you, God, for allowing me to just, be able to take, part in this.
Sorry, I'm directing like crazy over here. I'm sorry. Continue your story. I'm like, we have 1 minute.
You're fired. but okay. I think my point was made though.
Okay.
Yeah. At
sorry
the end, like, just be grateful for like the small things, because they really add up.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll give my quick one, which is comparison is the thief of joy. It's like, we can't do nothing about anybody else. We can only do what the cards were dealt and our reactions to the world around us, and like flipping that script and paying less attention to what's going on outside.
Yeah.
As hard as it might be, major work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Never give up.
All right. Well, I want to thank all of our viewers for watching, and all of our listeners, our podcast listeners, for listening to us. Please give us a like, give us a review on the podcast episode. Join us on Patreon. I'm going to put some extra content up there. Patreon. We did have like half a whole conversation that I actually did not record on the mics. So I might put some of that stuff up on the Patreon, so you can get a little bit of that juices and those nuggets because we had to kind of restart. I'm excited to have this new cast, and I'm excited for you all to follow us on this new journey of BoyFriends. So remember, until next time, if you have no one else, you got us.
Got us.